officially live on the real stream. Dylan Matthews been talking shit. I tried out a new 5-minute countdown. I've been crunching the numbers. I've been seeing what a whole bunch of sucker MCs have been doing on their streaming platforms. They make you wait for it. They make you build up for it. They don't just dive in, because I started seeing a whole bunch of you haters not being in the chat. So now all of a sudden I put a 5-minute countdown in, Dylan Matthews, and you want to talk about that it's this countdown is longer than Roman and Taker's entrance combined. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that about a bitch? So you one of them haters that just open up all the presents before Christmas, huh? You don't wait, huh? You open them up on December 15th. Ain't this a bitch? Welcome to the Me's Podcast, sucker MCs.
Are you okay? The countdown has elapsed. Everything's fine now, Dylan.
Try me a 5-minute countdown. You should see some of these haters on Twitch, Jay. They be doing like 20-minute countdowns, brother.
The one dude, the JD and NY guy who I used to kind of like, does like a 3-hour countdown. I'm like, oh, okay.
Listen, he can kick rocks on that. Listen, my man, the only tribal chief that I recognize, the Samoan Watchman, he says go long or go home, brother.
And that's in any connotation that you could possibly infer, brother.
Take Whatever. It any way you want it. Take it any way you want it. Yeah, Sonny Bones. CM Punk threw a big wrench in their plans. Oh, he did, brother. That tricep tear changed the game, brother. Samoa Watchman. Dylan opens presents while he's in the return line at Walmart. Straight up. Yeah, that's exactly what he do. That's what he do. Yo, that's what the Aussie do, man. We got an Aussie and a Samoan going at it, brother.
I don't know. That's an epic battle that's a battle of epic proportions. But you all know the rules. On Christmas Eve, if your parents are the meest, you get to open one. Get to open one. These spoiled little dicks. I mean, like,
listen, your parents ain't shit if you don't get to open a present on Christmas Eve. That's my new rule. Your parents have failed you, brother.
Welcome back to the Me's Podcast. Of course, Evan and I were both on the road last week. Evan pulling Royal Rumble duties. I was in Orlando at the PGA show. Very, very unique experience. Booth next to Vinny Testaverde of all people. Very, very.
Shout out to Big Vinny Testy, one of the OGs.
Number 16 all time in passing yards. That's not too shabby. But Evan, what was it? We have a smorgasbord to talk about tonight. But what was it like at the Rumble? What was the vibe that you got?
It was okay. It wasn't my favorite vibe, to be honest with you. I think that's part of what was going on with the scandal and the allegations. You felt it. It was palpable. The powers that be, all the PR people, they were on edge. You could tell they got some kind of memo or some kind of note or something early in the morning. It was a very weird vibe all weekend. The only thing I could take away is trying to get to a different city. I go to these events for different reasons. Because of these events, I'm able to go to places I wouldn't normally go and check boxes. Tampa is very Florida. It's very Florida, if you know what I mean. It's very Florida, but it has some charm. Every one of like the workers are like very classy. Because I know it's a touristy place, but still, it doesn't mean you have to be professional. There's a lot of good professionals down there, and I had a good time in that regard. Weather was humid and sticky and swamp like. It was like Jumanji, brother. Champ says, "Will you guys do a live show from Philly for WrestleMania week?" Damn, man, appreciate you pulling up, Champ. You know what I mean? That's our home state. We very well might do a Me's Podcast live inside the Liberty Bell.
I'm pretty sure that's not even on site at the stadium. It's actually like
listen, damn it. Okay, Jay, listen, question of the day. We got a lot to get to, but let me get to the question of the day before I get too sidetracked. Dylan Matthews, what I didn't like was people like Sam Ross Sapp talking shit about Trips not saying much. There's a lawsuit. He can't say shit. You damn Skippy. Dylan Matthews, he can't say stuff. With all due respect, he legally has a board of trustees that say you can't say a thing. I don't know why people act like they don't know how these kind of things work, but he literally can't. He wasn't trying to be cagey. He can't speak on it legally.
And if there ever was someone who's going to be cagey other than Christian Cage, it would be The Game, the guy whose name is The Game. he's going to be cagey. But let's also, what would he have said, Evan? Yeah, you know what? Vince is a piece of shit. You're right.
Yo, you know what? The grandfather of my children, my father-in-law, the father of my wife is a piece of shit.
Oh, and by the way, Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H voted not to bring Vince back last time. I don't know what you want from this guy.
So like we gonna let due process work it out. Me and Jay will have much more to talk about when due process goes. Yeah. Everybody in their mama is saying what they need to say about this. So I'm going to let them do their thing. Mackie going to sit back, read the facts, read through all the stuff, let everybody do all the talking. I'm going to check my check boxes, read the tea leaves, and then I'm going to pull up. That's all you need to know. PAW, I'm not letting The Rock hijack my show. I got a wrestling show for that. Yo, Bell God, I am not letting Dwayne The Rock Johnson do what he does best, and that's upstage, brother.
Can you please give us an in-depth synopsis whenever you do read the tea leaves and tell us what the tea leaves say?
I tell you what this is. Listen, question of the day. This goes for the chat. This goes for my main man, JMC. Question of the day. Oh, for the lady out there, any ladies that are on, Lexi Luther, this is for you as well. I was perusing the tube. of you. Now check it out. Very famous podcaster. I think she worked for Barstool, and something happened where she fumbled the bag or whatever, but she's very pretty. She's very gregarious. She's very charismatic. I will give credit where credit's due. But she was on the podcast, and she's known to be bougie. She's known to have the bouge. She said that a man does not get a second chance with her at all. If he takes her to a chain restaurant on the first date. Now, we're not talking about like McDonald's. We're talking about like an Olive Garden, Ruby Tuesdays, Outback Steakhouse, Dave and Buster's. Yeah, we're talking about that. So I asked JMC first. The chat has heard my question. JMC, what say you about that? I'm not saying you would do that. I'm just saying, do you feel she's in bounds or out of bounds, brother?
I think she's very out of bounds to start a relationship that way. What if you have a grand time with this gentleman? What if he gets you apps, a meal, and desserts? Apps and desserts and an entree? What if you get a little drink? What if you get a little martini? This guy's still spending a pretty penny. Nothing in this world is cheap. Now, would it be my first choice? Absolutely not. It would not be my first choice. I've taken girls on first dates to Carrabba's before. Apparently, that was a faux pas, brother.
Apparently.
But, I'm a big Bonefish guy. I guess that's a chain. But apparently,
yes, it is. It's a chain.
Apparently not good enough for her. Now, I would like to give her an experience that she has not had. What I would do in courting this young lady and talking to her, I would try to drop subtle hints like, what kind of food do you like? What kind of places do you try to go? And then I would suggest a place that I think she would like, that I also like. And that would be my plan of attack. However, I'm not good. If she says it's a make or break deal, we haven't even went there yet. You might have a grand old time. How do you know?
Yeah, you don't know me. Listen, the thing about it is, Dylan, she's not capping. I promise you. She's fine as hell. I'll give her that. She's fine as hell. I always will give credit where credit's due. Lexi says apps and zerts. Talk about it. Let's see. Thing about Lexi, I know Lexi. Lexi's not. You could take Lexi to a chain restaurant. You could take Lexi to a chain restaurant on the first date because she's what they call a dude's chick. You see what I'm saying? Lexi is what they call a dude's chick. She's down. You know what I mean? If I took her to apps and zerts, she's cool with it. I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? Now, unless something has changed over the years, you tell me, my dear. Dylan thinks she's capping. She's not capping. She's bougie. She would prefer you take her to a restaurant that's named after a guy named like Paul Smith. You know, because you know you're going to a restaurant like that, you're going to pay $600 for a steak. You know what I mean? PAW, the Belt God says, it's supposed to be about getting to know each other. Food choices should not be the barometer. Ooh, but I think it's more than that. I think it's the food choice, the atmosphere, the price point is what she was getting at. And I do believe she is way out of bounds, my people.
Yeah, I would just, I guarantee if she went on a date with Evan or myself, it'd be the best damn night of her life. And I'm not even talking in some weird undertone. I'm talking about she would be engaged in conversation. We would actually give a damn, pay attention to what she's saying, reciprocate, listen, ask her questions about herself. She may not even get out of the foyer and get into the living room because she's
who said you get into the foyer?
Yeah, you got to first get you got to get to the front door before you get to the foyer.
Now check it out though. Lexi says you could, but like the second date better be fancy absent zerts, like they need some panache, brother. And Dylan asked what her name is. It's not secret. She put it out on wax. Her name is Sophia Franklin. I'm already annoyed with her because she spells Sophia with an F, and that is her gimmick. Is she calls it? She says, "My name is Sophia with the F." That's what her podcast is called. You got to put a name to a face to someone. She fine as hell though. Yo, Jason Finger, yo, what up with that brisket, baby? Yo. But
better not be a brisket from a damn chain, Jason Finger.
So pretty much the general consensus is that a chain restaurant is okay. This is why I know our people in our chat and our listeners are what I call down to earth JMC. You've been to a fancy restaurant, Jay. You've been to a fancy restaurant, but that's called like Jermaine's and some shit like that.
My favorite restaurant in our area is called Thea.
I told you, Dylan changed it too. He said she fine as hell. I said I told you she was fine as hell, dude.
Dylan, does that change anything for you at the end of the day?
Dylan's like, holy shit.
So if I say, is it sexist? Is it wrong if I say, okay, the girl that I take and spend a lot of money better be fine as hell? Is that okay to say?
Yeah, you know me, bro. I've been to a couple of nice restaurants. Let's not be crazy. Jay, what's the most you ever paid for a steak? For real, bro. For real.
At the one at was it Ruth Chris or whatever? There's one inside a casino. The bill ended up being like $389.
Okay. Yeah, that's up there. To me, that's up there. Dylan goes, I will buy her any food she wants. Man, come on, man. Flip fly.
No, I've taken like in dating somebody who I really cared about. I took the whole family there and I paid for everybody, and it was a little more than that, but that was also like the whole family was eating, and that was at Thea, which you've been to, which is
Thea's amazing. Dylan, that dude said, I'll buy it if we he he changed his tune, brother. Sophia Franklin, he switched it over, girl. Listen, I don't know if you deserve that Aussie. I don't even know if I want to present him to you, Sophia.
Absolutely not. So here's the thing: I think what makes it worse is the mere fact that she puts it out there so brazen, and she just is like, "This is what I demand and what I deserve." I'm like, if you say this is what I prefer, this is my favorite spot, and we have a good connection.
PA Dub says she's mid. You'll stop. But listen, I'm on a serious note. All jokes aside, Belt God, she's not mid. That girl fine as hell, bro. She's slim. She a little too slim for Mackie, but I give credit where credit's due. But
if you're a male with half a brain and a personality of your own, that personality, that attitude, that approach is going to turn you off. Come on.
Yeah, so, but yeah, plus Belt God, I do my test is a little bit different. When I hear a guy that I feel is speaking hyperbolic, like PAW to Belt God, I feel he's speaking right now. I call it the alone test. Could this lovely lady be with PAW to Belt God alone in his establishment? You're sitting there with your little belt around your waist, watching a night of SmackDown, and Sophia Franklin comes in.
She's standing in the foyer.
She's in the foyer with a T-bone steak in her hand, not from a chain restaurant. And she's like, yo, Belt God was really good. And she presents you with a new belt that you don't have somehow. And you tell her to kick rocks, man, stop playing with me, man.
And she's wearing nothing but the belt, brother.
Man, stop playing with me. Man, stop playing with me. Belt God, stop playing with me, boy. That's what the kids call cap. That's what they call it.
When did cap become the word for like that's bullshit? That's what that means.
I don't know, but I only started using it because I wanted to stop saying bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Joy Land, what up, Bo? I wanted to stop saying bullshit, so I started saying cap. I don't like it, but it's prevented me. Like cheese and crackers stopped me from saying Jesus Christ. You see what I'm trying to say? That was my prevention. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm a bit.
Yo, Miss Joy Lynn, if you're listening to me right now, listen. Can a man on a first date, Joy Lynn? She's amazing too. She's amazing. I haven't talked to her in a while. Miss Joy Lynn, if you're listening to me right now, can a man take you on a first date to a chain restaurant, a high-end chain restaurant, not a fast food restaurant, but a chain restaurant? Can a man do that? Yes or no?
She didn't stipulate like the level of quality of chain. She said all chains, right?
Yeah, she's at a chain restaurant. When you say a chain restaurant, that's very broad to me. But I immediately started thinking like Applebee's, Bonefish, so on and so forth.
Applebee's on a Friday.
Ooh, Applebee's on a date night. Got the Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake and the whipped cream on the top. Let's go! Listen, Simone Washburn says, poppycock.
All right. Well, I mean, but does anybody, again, Evan, do you remember the first place you actually took Heidi on like a real date?
A real one.
I'm on a first date. I'm trying to knock it out of the park, so I'm usually
not me, guy. Man. I'm not me, and that's not a knock on you. That to me is the way to do it. I'll tell you this. Yo, Finger, they ain't got no brisket. Talk about it. Like I was talking about. No, there's one place in LA that I promised that girl I was going to take her to one day. It's a bistro. It's called Craig's. It is like one of the most famous places in Los Angeles because every single day there's 50,000 celebrities that go in there, and the food is moderately priced, but it's very bougie. You need a reservation. And I said, one of these days, I'm going to take your ass up in there. And she was like, oh, okay. And the 10-year anniversary hit, and I pulled her ass up into Craig's, and we did it up in Craig's. And I'm telling you, let me talk to you, brother. And I sat across there, and I looked at my wife, and she looked at me, and she was like, "Yo, this MFer got us in Craig's right now." And I swear to God, who was it? Olivia Wilde, diagonal right from Heidi, was eyeballing the wifey, brother. She was because Heidi was peacocking out there, boy. I swear to God, I see yo, babe, Olivia Wilde's looking at you. She goes, who? She's like, wait, what? And I said, look, she's like, oh my God, she's looking at me right now. I said, she showed up. Let's go. Michael Irvin was in there loud as hell. It's one of them nights, but that's what I remember, man. Everything else has been, Bonefish, Olive Garden, you know what I mean? Applebee's on a date, you know what I
mean? So you're telling me if you want to court this young woman, unlimited salad and breadsticks are not enough?
Apparently not. Sophia with an F says nay.
The tour of Italy is not enough?
Oh, listen. Oh, Belt God. I spent a year dating girls at my place, Netflix and DoorDash. That's it. I know my worth, and they do too. More females than guys, and a guy like me, they better get on my level. Ooh. Dylan Matthews, my father took my mom to dine in Pizza Hut, and they celebrated the 33. You see, this is what I'm talking about, Dylan. I think you guys understand why I brought this up for question of the day. Dylan Matthews, I think all jokes aside, I try to compartmentalize this and try to make this entertaining for y'all. But when I get serious, y'all know when I'm serious, right? Because the brother's tone changes. So Dylan, we all know what kind of woman your mother is. Mm-hmm. 33 years of marriage with kids, with your father. And Pizza Hut is all she needed. You know why? Because she went to Pizza Hut because of your daddy. Because he's Hemi Neutron. He's Himothy. Hemi Butler.
Him the Tool Man Taylor, goddammit.
Because you get what I'm trying to say. Let's get down to brass tacks. If you are HIM, it don't matter where you take her. You can have a picnic in a landfill. If you him, you can spin it some way and be like, yo, this landfill was the place of the blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. It ain't my fault Sophia would have been dealing with these billionaires and millionaires that ain't got no swag, no schwa to thief. You know what I mean, JMC?
No panache. No Chinese quoi. Come on.
Yo, Simone Washington said, nobody cooks. Come on, fellas, elevate yourself. No, that she definitely wouldn't be down with that. She wouldn't be down with that.
No, Simone Watchman's on one tonight.
Oh, he's in his bag right now. He's in his bag. he's been on a hiatus. He's back.
I just don't understand that, dude. Like life, everybody knows this. Life is so expensive nowadays, and just there is nothing that's cheap. And if somebody goes out of their way to try to show you a good time at all, either like just appreciate it or don't go. If you're clearly not interested in And if you're more interested in what's in someone's wallet than what's in their heart, I don't really have time for you at this point in my life. But she's not trying to date me.
Yo, Dylan Matthews, sounds like she could eat alone. I go, no, she way too fine to be eating alone, Jason Finger. I'll keep it a buck. I told you, I'll keep it real. Two things can be true. She could be out of pocket and fine as hell at the same time. She will not be eating alone. Dylan Matthews says, Sophia hasn't fumbled the bag like ScarJo brother.
Oh, he's saying she fumbled it with me. That's right.
Yeah. You back. He's back. He's finally on board. He's understanding how it really went down, y'all. Anybody that's new to the chat, anybody that's new to the Beast podcast, all you need to know is Jordan was on set, Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. He was a stand-in for the great Chris Evans. He had a moment to marry Scarlett Johansson, and he blew it.
Yeah. That escalated quickly.
Oh my God, yo. Listen, let's get to the crux, Jay. Set it up, man. Set it up for the people at home. We got to get to the crux, to the meat. That was question of the day. That's to get people to file in and funnel in and we try to ease you into the podcast, y'all.
So I'm gonna take you guys back to probably about 2 months ago. Maybe when we first started seeing Taylor Swift popping up at the Chiefs games. Now, my nieces, Cammie and Lainey, love you too. They are two of the biggest Taylor Swift fans you'll ever see. And I know that my brother-in-law, Greg, has been shelling out about $800 per ticket for them to go see this woman in concert. Evan and I got to talking. That's right. Two grown men, probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about Taylor Swift. And I'm like, Evan, I'm not trying to be a troll. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm like, can you explain Taylor Swift to me? And I'm like, because is she the best singer? I would say no, she's definitely not the best singer as far as like the tone of voice and vocal range. Is she the best dancer? Well, no, I think most people would say she kind of looks awkward when she dances, with all due respect. I say, okay, what is it about this woman that moves that needle so much? What do people love about this woman? And then we start going down a deep rabbit hole. And we're looking at net worth. And
Philly.
We're looking how she has more money than Beyonce and more money than massive stars who have clothing lines, who have makeup lines, who have and all she does is music and tour. She doesn't have a clothing line that I know of. And then we're looking at box office receipts, and a film of her tour is grossing more money than some major stars' tours, let alone what her actual tour actually grossed. So I'm like, I need one of our great listeners, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, wherever you are, sound off. What am I missing? I'm not saying she sucks. I'll reveal what I think about her in a little bit.
Phil Connolly says writes and performs her own bangers. Okay. That does matter in a world where a lot of artists do not do that. So that means I'm assuming, because she's a smart girl, that she has her own masters where you really make your money. A lot of artists, they too quick to sign their advance deal and they don't get their own masters rights. That's why Michael Jackson's estate owns the Beatles. That makes no sense, but it's true. Dylan Matthews, Taylor Swift wrecked the NFL this season and she knew exactly what she was doing. Taylor Swift didn't do a damn thing. Simone Watchman said she got a purty mouth.
Good Lord.
That's what he said. Yo, Lexi, what you think about Swiftie?
All right, so I got plenty of comments to share from earlier in the week too, and there's also a contingent, guys, we know there's a contingent of Taylor Swift fans that will live and die by anything she says. No matter, she can do no wrong. She's the greatest thing in the world. And you know, I will say this: as soon as her and Travis Kelce became Facebook official and made that announcement, this dude gained like 1 million followers overnight. He was already famous, but he's not
number one sold jersey in the NFL right now is Travis Kelce.
Insane. So we are not in any way saying she's not effective. She's not a needle mover. She is all those things. So Evan, let's go the low road first. What do you think about Taylor Swift is overrated or sucks? I'll share the comments. I want your take, and then I'll give you mine. And we've got plenty of comments to share as well.
Yeah, Bell God shares my sentiment. P.A. Dub says she's America's sweetheart, relatable to all other basic chicks. And I don't want to belittle her and say she's basic. I will say she is marketable, and with all due respect, it is refreshing. Now she dates a lot, but it's refreshing to see a girl who's not out here talking about WAP. It's refreshing out here to see a woman who's carries herself a certain way. She is from my home state of Pennsylvania. That will always factor in. I'm sorry. That's just, it is what it is. One of the original 13 colonies when everyone was dicking around in America. We were setting up shop, brother. But listen, she's marketable. This is what I call her, Jay. She's apple pie, bro. She's apple pie. And what I'm trying to say is Evan Mack is a sweet potato pie guy, but the majority of the country is not. The majority of the country, if you poll America, it wins every year. Number one pie in America is apple pie.
Yeah, but first off,
she's apple
song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Whatever that means.
Taylor said, yo, you know what pisses me off? That did she not film? Listen, you, Swiftie, you can't make that song when you're 22. You have to make that when you're 32.
Is that what she did?
She made it when she was 22.
So you're feeling like you're supposed to feel.
Man, get the fuck. I don't know about you, but I feel you know shit. You're 22. Man,
okay. So, but what we wanted to say. Okay, so I'm saying let's go negative. I don't.
Lexi goes, I don't cook. I don't clean. Yo, shut the hell up. I hate that damn song. And you talk that stuff about WAP, your stuff better be Niagara Falls. Legitimately. That's a sidebar. But go ahead, Jay. It better not. I pull up on you. It better not be the Sahara. Go ahead, Jay.
She leaky. Soaking wet. Okay. Gary Stackfield. Shout out to Gumper.
Yo, Gumper, lumper, bumper, dumper.
He said, I think she's so popular. Her light shines everywhere she goes. Her character is second to none. She was cleaning up the suite after they trashed it when KC played Buffalo. How do we know that, though? That her team is going to film the nice stuff that she does. I mean, that's why
they say she's salted to earth. They do, bro. They say it, bro.
I think America's yearning for famous couples to exemplify a healthy relationship. I disagree with that. But I think maybe deep down America wants that, but there's nothing. Look, what did the Green Goblin say to Spider-Man on the rooftop? He said, we build these people up so we can watch them fall. Now, the only thing that we love more than that is the comeback story. The same people that we verbally bash and beat down, then we love to say, oh, look at them. They're so perseverant, and we knew they could do it the whole time. Americans are fickle as hell. We're weird.
Fickle as hell.
We suck at a lot of stuff. But so Gumper's going positive here. Okay, a lot of people say she has. Okay, here we go. Nicole Lowe, toxic drama, too many boyfriends. Reagan Elizabeth says overrated, can't sing, can't dance. I don't get it. So there's people on both sides, but there's also Evan.
I wouldn't say she can't sing though. I'd be careful with that.
No, I would. No, she definitely.
I see. You gotta see. This is what I'm talking about. We got to be honest about Swiftie. The huzzy can play guitar. Mm-hmm. She can sing. Taylor Swift can sing. She's one of the only artists that do her entire show live. How many artists can look in the mirror and say they do shows live without lip syncing? Taylor Swift gives these people what they want. Britney Spears is the most, people apologize for Britney Spears. She lip synced when she was 20.
Oh, yeah.
My wife went to a Britney Spears concert when she was in middle school and she was lip syncing then. But people want to tell me she's a better artist than Taylor Swift. I will not let nobody, I can't say, you can say dance. I will not let you say that girl can't sing. That's where I will draw the line. Taylor Swift can sing. We gotta be careful here.
Britney can actually carry a tune at times a little bit. She's just dancing around so much. And I think, I think you're right about that. Overall performer, that's up for debate. She's
never sung live. Britney Spears does not sing live. No. She don't.
No, I've heard her sing. I did hear her sing live when she was a kid on Star Search, but that was a million years ago. Was she 3? 5 probably? Yeah, for real. Like seriously, I heard her sing that Lucky song live one time, and it was okay. But that's because she was just standing there, just with the mic.
Whispering that song though, bro.
Yeah, to say the least. Trust me.
Come on, man. Right. What we doing right here? Samoa Watchman said, you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't get to be around me. Talk about it. He don't care about that. Wop. He said, you better bust some suds. Shout out to my tribal chief, Samoan Watchman.
So most of the comments are overwhelmingly positive. What I don't like is the new contingent of people that are like, people just hate to see someone living their best life. I'm like, not really. I don't need
you maybe not you, Jay. Maybe not you, but people are like
You're
that.
Right. Yeah,
people, not you. Not you. You and I. It's weird, dude. People really don't like when people are like happy and in a good mood. Man. They really don't, man, because they're usually in a shitty mood. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying you per se.
No. Okay, you're right about that. So do you think they show her too much at NFL games?
Yes.
Do you think it is? But at the same time, there's I would say there's a million people each week that watch the NFL that didn't watch the NFL before they started showing her.
And that's the point. And that's the only thing that matters. Two things can be true. Evan Mack can think they show Taylor Swift too much, but also realize why they do. NFL gets it. Think about this for a second. It doesn't even make sense to me that the NFL is the most profitable sport. Soccer is the most global sport in the world, and the NFL eclipses it. What does that tell you?
And
they're marketing geniuses. They're marketing geniuses. And Taylor Swift, like I said, Taylor Swift showed up to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has the number one jersey in the league. Tight ends don't have the number one selling jersey in football. They don't do it. It's always a quarterback. Always. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you what else is getting lost in the shuffle. What's really getting lost in the shuffle of this Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing is Travis Kelce pursued her. Travis Kelce pursued her. He went to the Taylor Swift concert to try to get her attention. She did not know who he was. She heard that a football player by the name of Travis Kelce was trying to pursue her. Somebody set it up. The rest is history. Evan, what's your point? My point is he is in love with this chick. Y'all don't understand something here. If this thing ever ends, it will be because of her, not him. He's in. Taylor Swift has got him. Hook, line, and sinker, brother. That's what everyone's glossing over. Swift was chilling on stage doing her thing. Travis Kelce wants to marry this woman. Book it. I'm telling you, book it.
Phil, if you're indicating that the NFL wants Taylor Swift front and center for every playoff game in the Super Bowl, you're absolutely right. Evan, I've been talking about
but I will draw the line with the whole it's all rigged. It's just me, a tongue-in-cheek thing I say. But let's not be stupid, guys. They just know a moment and they're seizing that moment. That's what they do. Logan Paul in the WWE. They see he moves the needle socially. Let's give him a title. He'll be a really good ambassador better than some asshole that no one knows holding the title. And it has been working. Yeah, Lex goes, but like, really, who cares? She sings, he plays ball, they date, the end. I agree, but people do care, Lex. You know what I mean? I'm with you, babe. But people do care. You know what I'm saying?
As far and Phil, Evan and I have been talking about this like literally since she started showing up at the games. Like and like Evan said, we're not going to go as far as to say that the whole thing's rigged. It would take an astronomical coup.
It's the stupidest thing in the world. 100 years in the NFL and no one's ever come out and said it's rigged. Stop playing with me. It's impossible. Stop playing.
But if you don't think, as far as I can go with that conspiracy wise, and Evan, you and I talk about this, like if there's a questionable call that can go either way, they're like, well, if that puts the Chiefs closer, I can go that far.
Yeah, I definitely can go that far.
And I can say that they want that. They want them visible at all times.
Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce at the end of Super Bowl in Las Vegas. They want that.
It'll be the highest rated segment in television history.
Why the hell would they not? This is what y'all don't get. This is business. Who wouldn't want that? Yeah. And then next year, guess who's probably going to be performing in the Super Bowl? Taylor Swift.
People are like, wait, she never performed at the halftime show yet? I'm like, I don't think so.
No, she has not.
You know,
not right now. They're like, shit. Usher, can you kick rocks for a second? Usher going to set it off, too. He going to set it off. Usher, you ain't shit if you don't bring Ludacris out during year. You ain't shit. Your whole legacy is tarnished if you don't do that.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Your legacy don't mean nothing if Luda does not come out during you are a scrub. I'm calling it right now.
I'll say Lil Jon should be there too.
I'll go a step further. Both of them. Your career is in the toilet.
He's like, actually, but Evan, I'm doing quite well. You're like,
Yeah, don't bring out Chris Bridges, and we'll have a different conversation, brother. Because I'll be in Vegas, brother, and I'll pull up, brother.
And by the way, guys, I do agree. Like, as far as women of that age, young women definitely need somebody positive to look up to at times. I think people put way too much stock in what celebrities do. And yes, we like to talk about pop culture, but to actually emulate them and want to be like them, I think it's absurd. But I also know that it's a very realistic thing, very prevalent. So she does, and I don't care about the dating thing. I'm talking about like her lyrics, the things she talks about, the way she carries herself. She's a pretty classy woman, to be honest, as far as we know.
Samoan Watchman. But what if my nephew plays in the NFL and tells me that's rigged? Then your nephew can kick rocks. How about that? I need way more than your nephew playing in the NFL. Is he on a losing team? Please don't say he's on a losing team. Don't tell me that. Please tell me he's playing for the Chiefs next week. Please tell me that's Samoan Watchman, my tribal chief.
There's other like Arian Foster came out on a podcast that
he's an idiot too. He's an idiot too. They already get their money up front. It doesn't make sense. They already have the money. They already have it.
You would have to rely on 60 players on every team, referees, everybody, no one hearing or seeing anything.
Stop it.
It would actually be harder, I think, to execute Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowls that are rigged with no one finding out, than for him to actually win 7 Super Bowls.
100%. 100%. There was my Uber driver in Tampa. This asshole was talking to me. Older dude, not a kid. He was like, you hear about that field goal that the guy missed. You hear there was magnets in it. What?
Yeah, they say that about the NBA too. They're like, when
he was dead serious. Guys, do you know how stupid that is? You know how I know that? I know they're dumb. They're literally thinking like this is an Acme thing, like Wile E. Coyote with a big magnet. That's not how magnets work. You know that, right? You don't there's not a giant little U with like the red and silver thing that you hold like Wile E. Coyote and it'll suck a ball. Did you know how that kind of works? Did y'all pay attention in class at all? What up? All right, Jason, take it easy, bro. Like, do you understand that's not how things work? Man, that'd be a tough thing to do, man. 203 years and nobody come out. Arian Foster. I ain't worried about Arian Foster. I ain't worried about that halfway decent running back. I ain't trying to hear that from nobody.
So Arian Foster and some other guys have gone as far as to say like you get a script and like every play is like orchestrated, which would be impossible. That's even hard. So are we saying it's that? Or are we saying like, okay, it's fourth quarter, so this team needs to, and is every game rigged? That would take so much effort, guys.
Oh my God. Do you know how much years get taken off these coaches' lives? They are miserable. They're miserable. They age so poorly because they're so stressed out. They're so stressed out. Oh, by the way, the one thing that no one else talks about, by the way? What about that washout, Jay? What about that washout that got cut? How come he doesn't come out and say that? Tell me why. See what I'm saying about people's argument? They never think about that. The washout player that got cut over the player he thought he was better than, who would have more of a sedative to talk shit? That player.
Very true.
They never do though. Oh, they just swore into secrecy? What is it in the NFL? The mafia? Man, get the hell out of here, man.
I probably know
Mrs. Cakes.
I probably know 5 NFL players personally, and I've had conversations with them. And one of them played at a pretty low level on a minimal contract for 5 years, played for the Steelers and the Patriots, and he never mentioned it. And then talking to Ryan Fitzpatrick personally, and I made the mistake because one of the first night I met him, he's been friends with my sister's family for years. He's got a kid named Brady, and I know they're in the same. I know they're in the same division at the time. And I'm like, I was like, you didn't name him after Tom, did you? I was like. And I made the dumbass mistake of being like, because like Tom's like my favorite player ever, and he's like, all right, dude. I was like, oh, this guy hates me, and I didn't realize. I'm like, wait, they beat the Bills' ass every year twice, and then it's recently came out that Ryan and him like actually didn't get along that much. So it was like Ryan probably thinks I'm a moron, but Ryan's talking to me about his game preparation and everything, and this is like a Harvard guy, and I'm not saying he would tell me secretly, but like. And he's like, I'm at dinner tonight. He's like, I can't. He's like, normally I'd have like an old fashioned or a beer with you. He's like, I can't. We got to play. So to go play a rig game, you can't have one drink with a family. Like, there's just little shit like that doesn't add up.
I will say this, getting to bring it to close with Swifty, to your biggest point, and this I will say, what I won't let people do is just slander this girl because you don't like her music. That's just silly. Because I'm not going to slander a positive role model to young girls when there's nothing but little sluts walking around doing OnlyFans because they don't want to work and flip a burger for 5 seconds. And because they're making a whole bunch of money, they want me to think that that's not an immoral thing. Because when you make money, that means you're cool. Drug dealers make money too. Is that cool as well?
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna sit here and knock a girl that just makes music and makes people smile and makes people have a good time. Is never getting arrested, never doing drugs, doesn't look like a damn hoe, and is a positive role model. The only thing I will say about Swift is I just don't get the music part of it. She don't have a banger. She does not have one banger. Evan Mack, full disclosure, I'm gonna see who know I might get hit with a poison dart because she has listeners everywhere. I can't stand Beyonce. Can't stand her.
You already know how I feel. I'm not a fan.
I cannot stand her. Never said she wasn't talented. Never said she wasn't a beast. She sings live. She's a powerhouse dancer. She's a hell of a performer. I don't like that no one can get her ticket unless you're a millionaire. Don't like that kind of stuff. So I don't like Beyonce. But she got bangers though. She got 5 bangers. She got bangers with Destiny's Child. With Swifty, I never understand. Yeah, I'm a Kelly Rowland guy too, Dylan. Holla at your boy. I don't. She doesn't have a banger.
And people know how people on this show know how eclectic our musical taste is. So it's not like you just don't like that genre or whatever. A banger's a banger. Period.
Yeah, a banger's a banger because I like 50 country songs because they bang. It's like I'm looking for that back. The song I think slaps the hardest for Swifty is that Blank Space song. That's a banger to me, but it's like a borderline banger. When I hear it, I want it to hit a little harder, but I got a blank space, baby, and I write you. I'm like,
See, I actually don't mind Shake It Off.
Shake It Off. Okay, that's a little bit of a okay. That's a little bit of a banger because the player's gonna play. It's a little bit of a banger. I stand corrected.
Because she came out with, she was the folk singer-songwriter, and then she came out with that.
She modified.
A full genre switch, and I was like, it's catchy. Come on now, it's catchy.
Shake It Off is a bit of a banger. Gotta give the devil his due. I ain't gonna sit here and let people slander Swifty because she's at a football game.
But what I will say is that, and I go by my 13-year-old or 15-year-old and 12-year-old niece, they see themselves in her for whatever reason. They're like, we can relate. I'm like, I don't know how you relate to her, but you do. So the girl next door, call it what you want, call it that whole thing, but call it I'm so alone and no one sees me. I'm like, okay.
All right. Listen, if she connects, that's the only thing that matters in music. If this woman connect, how can I fault her when she's giving positive vibes, brother?
Evan, was it Simone Watchman or was it Belka? Somebody asked you to recap my bag fumblage with Scarlett Johansson.
Someone wants a recap? I miss the bag fumble. Please, Simone Watchman, pull up a chair, my tribal chief, and let me regale you, brother. Once upon a time, there was a young JMC, a young thespian, wet behind the ears, not a care in the world.
I was like,
regale us, brother.
I was like 28 at the. I was like 29.
Okay. Not a care in the world. His whole life in front of him at the ripe old age of 28 years old. He happened to land a prominent stand-in role for Chris Evans' role as Captain America. Winter Soldier. He was the stand-in. He was the person to be in every single spot that Chris Evans didn't want to be in while he was learning his lines or whacking it and jacking it, whatever he was doing. JMC would be in his stead until he got to set. Listen to me, Samoa Watchman, as I regale, brother. There's that point in the movie. Remember the part in the movie where you see Scar Joe in the car, Joe. You see what I'm saying? She's in the car. Well, before Chris Evans gets to the same, listen, Dylan Matthews comment, whacking it and jacking it. I'm trying to get to the story. Listen, JMC happened to get to sit in the car with Scar Joe to wait for Chris Evans to get into his spot.
Evan, don't do a disservice though, because I said he didn't. Second team is when you're a stand-in or a body double. I was both for him. He didn't do any of his second team work. Some actors do, some actors don't. He did none of it until she showed up. None of it until she showed up.
Didn't do a thing. Jordan starts being Jordan. JMC starts dazzling her with his charisma, his joie de vivre, his swag goo was dripping all over Scarlett Johansson. All over it. She didn't know what to do with herself. And as Jordan's just started to get his beak wet and everything was fine, there's a rap at the door. And a man stands before him, and he is our Captain America. And he says, "Move aside, Jordan. I got it." He pushed him to the side, capped, and he missed a huge opportunity by tapping on Jordan's door and by not saying "on your left." What an asshole. He should have said that, but he didn't. All he had to say, everything would have been fine. But Samoa Watchman, we tell you that story to tell you that all we took away from all of that stuff I just told you is Jordan was alone with Scarlett Johansson, had a chance to marry her, and he didn't. That's all that matters.
And apparently she was all for it. She was there for it. So
Lexi said you should have took her to Carrabba. See, bag fumble. It's the Samoa Watchman. Yes or no? Did he fumble the bag? Everyone thinks Jordan fumbled this bag. Did he fumble the bag? Everybody and their mama thinks he's fumbled his bag.
And I can't emphasize this enough, because when you are a stand-in or a second, Phil's done it. Phil's on Instagram right now. He's done stand-in work before. He's been on set with me actually. The main star, like a Chris Evans, who's a big deal. He spends a lot of time in his trailer talking to the director, getting ready for the scene. I go through, do his whole scene. They do the lighting, they do the camera setup. So because we're the same size. So as soon as he walks in, second team, stand-in, body double leaves, he comes in. Some actors like to be hands-on, so they do all that prep work, and they just like to, that's their process. James Franco does all his. Channing Tatum mostly does a lot of his, but I don't think he knew what a stand-in was, to be honest, when he was on Step Up.
He was green, yeah.
Yeah, the Wahlbergs do theirs for the most part. At least they did in 2005. A lot of guys, Ryan Phillippe does all his. I was Ryan Phillippe stand-in, didn't get off the bus once. Didn't have to. But anyway, the point is,
free money, baby. Free money, free craft services, baby.
Absolutely. And nothing's better than Crafty on a SAG set.
Oh my God, dude.
But so he did literally none of it. None of it. And when she showed up, we're in this car. I was like, this is my only chance I'm ever probably going to talk to this woman. I was like, I got to make her laugh at least. I've never been more on fire in my life. And all of a sudden he's like, I got this one. I'm like, okay. And he's not a jovial guy. Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, there all day making everybody laugh. Didn't even use his stand-in. Cool as shit. Scarlett, cool as shit. Yes, she's hot in real life. She had a lot of makeup on, but that's because you look orange on film without it. It's not her fault. I don't even know.
Lexi says ScarJo fumbled the bag, brother. Mrs. Cake said, dang, Jordan, you could have been in there. You should have told her, hey, sweet thing, can I buy you a fish sandwich? People got all the things you should have, would have, and could have did, JFC.
But I'm telling you, you've never seen a more jovial, animated Chris Evans. He was ever in your life. And I was a big fan of Chris Evans. Why? Not because of Captain America, because of Jake Weiler.
Not another teen movie. What a masterpiece.
And Chris Evans was not cordial to me. It's sort of a rule that you at least kind of.
I know exactly why, though. I know why.
Why do you think?
Because listen, because you're a dude. You guys are literally the same body type, same chiseled jaw. It was a dude thing, point blank, period. A weird bravado dude thing. Like, this is my stand-in, step aside, yada yada yada. Samoa Watchman should have said, "I got this." Hail Hydra.
Oh, see, in retrospect, hindsight is 2020, brother. But like even though it was from that movie, Evan said, I think Evan came up with it. He's like, if Cap would have been like on your left, I'd have been like,
he'd have been the GOAT. He'd have been the greatest actor of all time.
And
if he'd have tapped you on your shoulder and said on your left and got you out of that car, I'd have been like, Jordan, he's the greatest of all. He's better than Daniel Day-Lewis. He's better than Al Pacino. He's better than Robert De Niro. He's the best.
and to be honest, Evan, by the way, Meest podcast affiliates, Evan and I hate when people are like, oh, that guy's just like Evan or that guy's just like Jordan.
Oh, my dude.
The only person I've ever seen that was even remotely close to as funny as Evan just naturally was Anthony Mackie. He's not, and I won't even say that he was, but just the way his presence gave me vibes like that.
Man, never met him. Jordan, I swear to God, Lord have mercy. I love Liz. Liz, you know I love you if you ever listen to this. We were at her crib one time, me and Heidi. She was like, You gotta meet so and so's boyfriend. She's like, he's like just like you. Like Heidi was like, you have the gall, brother.
Heidi might have said that too.
Listen, Samoa Watchman, you are a professional. You good, JMC? Exactly right, Samoa Watchman. He doesn't feel it was a bag fumble. He feel you was being a pro's pro.
That's why I acknowledge you, my tribal chief.
I told you that's the only tribal chief I acknowledge until Roman Reigns get his ass on this podcast. I ain't acknowledging him. I'm acknowledging my Samoan Watchman, brother. Yo, Son of Saint, what's up? One of the best artists I've ever seen in my life. They call him Son of a Saint. What up, brother?
Respect. Phil said, "Who was that douchebag you stood in for and Step Up?" I stood in for Channing for a couple days, but also for the one guy who injured his ankle. I don't even remember. That kid did nothing after that. Yeah, Phil was on Step Up with me for like 2 weeks. Or Phil, were you there? How long were you there for? Because I worked behind the scenes and on camera in that.
The beginning stages of the great Channing Tatum.
And he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He popped in a JMC and Mac Lish CD and was like, and actually listened to it the whole day.
That's the only thing that matters to me.
And him and Mario both gave me feedback about which songs they liked, and I could tell they actually.
Let's go.
And they were like, and it was like, yo, this shit is hot. And Channing was like, yo, he's like, this sounds weird because he's like, I like country. He's like, but I actually like this shit. I was like, okay.
Listen,
Channing's the Johnny Cash guy. If you didn't know.
Oh, he's a Cash guy. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Before we get to some other stuff, I got to hit Jordan with my weekly weird but true. My weekly weird but true. I don't give him what it all is. I don't give him everything. I just give him a line. Weird but true for the week, my people that are listening in the chat. Man partying in Brazil. Do you have any early thoughts, JMC? Any early thoughts?
I've never been to Brazil, but I imagine anything goes.
Okay, this is gonna knock your socks off, brother. Here we go. Man partying in Brazil. Listen, here we go, people. A Brazilian man continued to party for 4 days in a row without an iota of realization that he had a 9mm bullet firmly lodged in his head.
Surely there was one iota.
I swear to God, dude. Listen to this. 21-year-old Mateus Facio thought he was hit by a stone during a New Year's Eve party at a beach in Rio de Janeiro. He stopped paying attention to the injury as the bleeding stopped after some time. He spent the next 4 days partying at the beach with his friends, completely unaware of the severity of the situation. Little did I know this would all happen, he said. On his way back home, the man realized he could not drive because his arms and fingers had stopped moving normally. After reaching home, he sought medical attention only to find that he had a bullet stuck in his head, Jordan Michael Colson.
I don't know where you find these every week, but the things that these people do for prolonged periods of time. How long did the one guy walk for?
5 days.
So if you're new to this weird but true segment, this we just react to it. There's not like any rhyme or reason, but it keeps getting weirder. But so was he shot? Obviously.
Check it out. The doctors. I went to take a nap and woke up with my arm feeling a little silly. Fazio said, I felt my fingers moving, but I didn't have the confidence to pick something up. The doctors later said the bullet was pressing in an area close to the region responsible for movement of the right arm, causing irritation. This led to the brain to respond with movements that manifested as convulsing episodes. The doctor was quoted as saying by the Post, he added Fazio was extremely lucky that he didn't sustain a more serious damage. Fazio went through a 2-hour operation to get that 9mm bullet removed, risking bleeding, leakage, and cerebral fluid, meningitis, and even death. Doctors were able to extract the bullet without further damaging the nerves. The bullet was handed over to cops for investigation. Police later said they didn't get a report of any shooting from the area that day.
That's why I was like, I just asked the stupidest question ever, because how else would the bullet get lodged in his cranium?
Someone, now let's keep it real. Everyone is saying what I'm saying. Their drugs were involved for him to just keep it. 4 days, my people. 4 days. Check it out. Has use of all his motor functions, no brain damage. He's perfectly fine. This dude's skull must be unbelievable. I'm thinking it was just random gunfire and he caught a stray legitimately. But the fact that he partied 4 days after. Damn, dude.
So, by the way, multiple people in multiple chats that can't even see each other said cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's why I wish we could funnel all these chats together, but whatever.
Me too, man. Y'all cooking right now. Yes, he's fine and dandy. 9mm to the head. That's not a tiny bullet, man.
What's the I know he's Brazilian, but that's why one of the funniest things Cat Williams ever said. I'm gonna butcher it, but he's like, get you some Latino friends. You need some goddamn Latino friends. He's like, who else you know party for 6 goddamn months? He's like,
bro,
I want to go home. Who the hell's
bro?
Even if you don't have a bullet in your head, who's partying for 4 days consecutively? What are you doing?
Samoa Watchman said he's a real life unbreakable character. Oh yeah, for sure. That dude got an adamantium skull. Make no mistake. Make no mistake.
So he didn't even in 4 days. Let's put aside that there's a bullet in your head. You're not like, man, I should probably sit down. I'm feeling a little woozy or a little hungover, a little tired, a little fatigued, a little famished.
Think about it. The only thing that made him check in to the hospital was he couldn't pick up something. So he'd have just been chilling for a week, 2 weeks. He literally just, the bullet kept pressing into the part that dealt with his motor functions. So he had to go into the doctors. He'd have been chilling, bro.
He's sitting there kicking it, and that asshole from 2 weeks ago walks by. He's like, "Sup, man? Me and my wife are fighting."
You had to fight with her as well. He's like, "No, I just got shot." He's like, "All right," keeps him moving. Yo,
what do you search when you look for these things?
Legitimately weird but true news.
And people are like,
they're like, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God.
But this, I like this one because it had his name, his picture. He's having a thumbs up. He's good. He's good to go. He's right as rain. He's right as rain.
He's at the club right now.
He's kicking. He is kicking. He living his best life right now. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm good with it.
I don't know. I don't even know like how I'm supposed to react to that. I just know that it's
yeah, what do you got? Got anything?
I don't really have it. I just wonder. I'm just amazed. First of all, what establishment is open that long?
He was out because he was out in Rio kicking it.
Just wherever, just moving around.
Yeah, partying. Because it was New Year's in Rio. Think about that.
Oh my God.
It was New Year's Eve in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. Can you imagine? So I already know what happened. I already know exactly what happened, bro. Like any investigation, Rio de Janeiro, people pop off guns. That's what they do. So they're like pop, 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 pop. And someone probably hit one like forward and it traveled. I think the only reason why this guy's not dead on a serious note is the bullet came from too far away. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
The distance of the bullet was not able to lodge where it could have lodged because this man would be very dead. But he's with us. I wish he was on this show. I'd be like, bruh. I'd be like, bien? Oh God.
Cuatro días. Sí. En mi cabeza. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you damn right in your cabeza. Shit. Damn. All right, here we go.
What are you guys doing? Okay, all right.
I don't know, man. Here we go. Switching to weekly race relations topic. Me, JMC, black guy, white guy, tackling
Only we
race
can do this
relations
shit.
because we have never done it. We've never done it in the 20 plus years that we've known each other. So I feel like we could tackle this a certain way because it's not going to end in bloodshed, brother. But we're going to alternate different topics to get the chat sparked and get our conversation going. And this week was my week to choose, and I have chosen the race relations topic. Jordan Michael Colson. The Wizard of Oz is being remade. One of the all-time great films on every single major film critics list of top 5 movies ever made. It is a flat-out masterpiece in every way, shape, or form. God rest Judy Garland-Soul. She's an icon. They're remaking Wizard of Oz. Black director is taking a black girl from Inglewood as Dorothy and changing everything. Now, the question I asked you, kind sir, the reason why I chose this as my race relations topic is because are you, as a white man, are you at the point where you're tired of film and TV things that have been classically made by been made as a white person that played this character, whether it's a white woman or a white man, and their race has been swapped for a different race, albeit African American, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Latinx? Are you to the point now, because there's been a lot of content out there where a lot of things have been changed from this original creation to put a person of color in? Are you bothered yet?
I want to do, this is such a great question. It's such a great topic. And I want to do it all, give it all the justice that it deserves. So before I even start, can we acknowledge that Wizard of Oz 2 Return to Oz is like one of the most horrifying movies in the goddamn world ever?
Terrifying.
Dorothy Gale. I was like, Jesus.
Terrifying.
She takes her head off. Anyway, the Wheelers, or whatever, the TikTok. Come on, dude. Anyway, yeah, Return to Oz freaked me out as a kid. Now I'm just thinking about it. Got to get past that. This is a serious question. Here's my thing. When people remake something, I'm like, there's a couple different angles. If you want it to be true to the source material, then I don't see the reason to even remake it, because it's at best as good as the original. What's the point? I also think I think Disney goes over the top with the live action thing, because some of the animated ones were like Aladdin was perfect, and I just didn't enjoy it as much. Now, when you're changing something that makes it, if it's so different just for the sake of being different, just because you want to appear to be cutting edge and progressive, I get a little turned off by that, because in my humble opinion, and we'll get to this too, I don't want to go too far into it because I got a point to make, but I can't speak for a black person, but I wouldn't feel like I'm being seen or heard anymore. I'd be like, this is being forced down people's throats, and they're not even going to give me a fair shake even before I get out of the gate. Now, with that said, I usually would reserve judgment. I'm not going to straddle the fence, but I would say, let's see how he or she does. Let's see what direction they choose to go. And let's see if it's a good film that stands on its own merit while paying homage to the original. In perfect example, I thought Halle Bailey did a tremendous job as Ariel. I thought she
phenomenal.
She can sing, she can act. I enjoyed it. I thought it was actually one of the more entertaining live action Disney pieces. I thought it did enough to pay homage to the first one, and then gave a new take. In fact, the only thing I really didn't like about it was
Aquafina.
Was the song that Halle Bailey had nothing to do with.
That stupid Scuttlebutt song. I wanted to slit my face off.
And there's probably a good opportunity there to have a little hip hoppy rap scat.
That was not it.
No, and I don't know if it's Aquafina's not a good performer at that, or in that avenue, or if it just wasn't the time or the place. But I don't ever mind it if they're black, but I will, or if they're a different race. I said, hey, the Ariel that I'm used to has red hair and is white, but at the same time, this is a fictitious fish woman. So why am I going to be bent out of shape about someone that doesn't even exist? Let's see if it's good. If it's not good.
But what if it's not a fish woman, brother? Let's get to brass tacks, because that's a one-off to me. She's a fake fish woman. What if, and they did it. They actually did it more accurately. They did different races from the 7 seas, because they'd be 7 different races. They really would be.
They sure would be. They sure would be.
People weren't thinking about that. Ariel should actually be black, guys. She was in the Caribbean, but I don't want to get y'all bogged down in facts. She should have always been that. They're in the Caribbean, but that's okay. Y'all go ahead. But let's get down to brass. Before you do, Lexi, why should we be bothered? Old movies like that were made in a time for far less diverse, and children of color deserve to have something strong characters to look up to that they see themselves in. Lexi, here goes my counterpoint. I'm not saying you're wrong, but why not make your own content is what I'm trying to say. But go ahead, Jay, once she answers that.
That's the other side of the coin. I would just say, and now, Evan, I'll throw it back to you before you give your answer and ask you, like, as a person of color, do you say, okay, my people feel more seen or more heard? Now there's that viral video, whether it's fake or not, it was heartwarming. There's that little girl that said, Ariel looks just like me, and starts crying tears of joy. And
I think it's cap, but the message is clear.
Me too, but the message is beautiful. Like, if that's real, if anyone actually felt that way, then what are we talking about? Who gives a shit?
I agree with that.
But at the same time, I would say, I know if somebody, and it's very hard to put it in this, it's very hard to put the shoe on the other foot. But if you do, and they were going to make Black Panther white, I'd be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Now I know there's a lot less representation. Like,
however, it's a fair argument. It is, man. People don't want to hear that.
I would say you're just doing it to be different, and I don't need to be seen or heard as a white male, but I would say, like, that doesn't make sense. There's not a new fresh take that you can provide by doing that, and you're just doing it to appear progressive or cutting edge, and that pisses me off. So I'll throw it back to you, Evan. When that happens, I know you like to weigh things on their merit, but is your initial thought like, okay, I like the representation, or do you feel like it's tokenism?
Yeah, the latter. Lex says, was Ariel described as a white with red hair in Hans Christian Andersen classic? No, Lex, we're not disagreeing on this topic, because, like I said, truthfully, where she lives, she should be a person of color, because Caribbeans predominantly look like me. But so I'm never going to get caught up in a fish woman. That's, to me, that you can't argue. There's not a human being on earth that can argue Little Mermaid to me. She's a fish woman, for goodness sakes. Right. You know what I mean? So, but Miranda Baker, what up, Miranda? I don't care about the cast. I just don't understand why they are remaking all the classic movies. So many remakes.
Because they're out of ideas, that Miranda. That's the only reason.
That's my issue as a film guy. Dylan, her was cast as was cast as Belle in the ABC version as Beauty and the Beast, and I don't see a problem. The reason why, Dylan, it's not a problem until it's something big. With all due respect, no one gives a shit about some NBC or ABC live action play bullshit. They don't. They only care when it gets to the brass tacks, like we're remaking the movie, like the genie in Aladdin is black on Broadway. No one really cares. But as soon as you make it well, you're like, okay, now we're wondering where Robin Williams at, even though there's been a black genie on Broadway for years prior to that movie getting made. It matters when it gets to the silver screen. That's when it matters. But to Miranda's point, it's not about race with me. I said, I'm a black man, no matter what anybody thinks or says, no matter if they think they know someone blacker than Evan Mack, ain't no brother out there less likely to get shot than me. They don't care about my views if they see my color. So as a person who has always lived as a black man for 39 years, I will tell you this. Where are your ideas? Where are your ideas? And here goes my point. You're never going to make that remake better than the original. That's my issue. My issue is, like, right now, Villanueva, he's Dune, the Dune remake is better than the original, period. And the second one's going to be better, and the third part's going to be better. His trilogy will be better than the original Dune. He could be one of the rare people that say, my movie's better than the original. That movie is a flat-out cinematic masterpiece. So, but most people don't have this. They just remaking shit to remake shit. You have to, if I'm remaking something and I'm taking from the original, it has to be better. It has to be. But I read quotes. Kenya Barris, the person that made Blackish, the person that made Black this, Black that, the blackity, black, like Mixed-ish. This is the person that's making the Oz movie. So black. So as soon as I see that, right? As soon as I see that, what do I see? What do I see when it's the remake? This is what I always get pissed off about. Kenya Barris is remaking the classic film with a modern and inclusive spin. That shit pisses me off. I don't want to hear those words. What do you mean modern and inclusive? Hey, we're in 2024. It's going to be modern.
Oh, there's black people now. Let's put them in movies. What?
Man, that's my issue because I know right now for a fact you're not trying to make a movie. I know for a fact. I just read that. That's a quote from his. So when they ask him why he's making the movie, he don't say it's a timeless classic I'm obsessed with. He says I'm going modern and inclusive. That's agenda based. And as a person who's a film purist like myself, that takes away from cinema. And I don't give a fuck what color you are. Cinema is cinema. And I need it to be good, bro. I need it to be good.
Is there any other remakes other than Dune that you can think of that are better? And like that's the thing. We have so much
Mad Max, but it was made by the same guy.
Yeah, and that's cool. See, like you can get, we all know this. If you watch, especially television and streaming shows, the writing most of the time is so much more sophisticated now. The character development is so much more deep. So you can take something that pre-exists, pay homage to it, and then make it a lot more intricate, a lot more deep. And you can weave in and out. You can add characters that are of color, especially the ones that actually, that's like why I don't like, oh, those two characters are gay. Why? Does that add to the character development?
Does that drive the narrative?
If it doesn't, then why are you doing that? Because how have you ever seen someone just going about their business on a show and been like, I wonder if that person's straight or not?
Yeah, no. Like, for example, 50% of anyone that watches the movie does not know Sir Ian McKellen is gay. Do you guys don't know Sir Ian McKellen is gay? Because he just acts, man. His sexual preferences and who he's attracted to is none of Evan Max's business. It's none of my business. He's a world-class performer and he goes on about his business. So what I'm trying to say is when you emphasize this stuff, you take away from the story. Mm-hmm. You can easily have a character. So Ian McKellen's been playing great characters for years with nobody bothering about his sexuality, is what I'm trying to say.
Unless the narrative
is damn. Unless it's the narrative.
If like look at Brokeback Mountain with two world-class actors, God rest his soul, Heath Ledger and of course the great Jake Gyllenhaal, the underrated Jake Gyllenhaal, who we talk about a lot on this show. Chili. But that is about two guys that are struggling with their sexuality. So that's a perfect way to tell that story because that is necessary to the narrative. Now, again, I don't ever want to be insensitive. Also, I realize there's more people that look like me than anyone else on any screen that we could possibly look at. I understand that. So I do understand that some people may find reassurance, may find solace, may find whatever they need to find in seeing someone that looks like them or that they can relate to. I can relate to anybody if they have heart and soul and they feel the same way that I feel. Like you
just went on a rant last week about how much you love Fresh Prince. Stop playing with me, man. If it's good, it's good, Jay. You connected with the Fresh Prince. He didn't look like you, Jordan. Is that okay?
Yeah. See, like I never even thought I had to care about that until people started bringing that up all the time.
Race is brought to children. Yeah. I can tell you for a fact, race is brought to children, whether it's their parents doing it early. My parents are the shit, so they didn't do that. Some asshole in school did that. Mm-hmm. Some asshole in school brought my race to me. I was living my life because I love everybody. For example, who was my favorite Power Ranger growing up? Zach. Until the Green Ranger saga. And then when the Green Ranger saga pulled up with Tommy, Zach could kick rocks. I don't give a damn what color he was. I can remember throwing the Black Ranger toy in the trash.
Damn.
Bro, that's how bad I wanted to coax my parents and to get me a Green Ranger Power Ranger. So don't talk to me about race. Don't talk to me about this shit. If you the shit, you the shit.
And then the brilliant marketing behind that was like, he sold a lot of toys. Let's make him white now. Dragon Zord. No, Tiger Zord.
So my whole thing is, inclusive, that matters. Representation will always matter to a marginalized group. Let's be real. I'm in a marginalized group. However, not for the sake of my cinema. Oh, no. Well, you ain't going to pervert my cinema for your agendas, because the one thing Evan Mack does control, JMC, is what he pays for.
Yes, he does.
So we control what we pay for. So I put my money where my mouth is, Jay. I don't just talk shit and then go pay for the movie. I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying for it. That's the one thing I control. I'm a consumer. I don't have to do a damn thing.
I would venture to guess that rather than quantity, you'd rather say, I wouldn't mind watching a good story with African Americans that really do it justice, because it tells a great story, has compelling characters, and actually putting some time into it. That's what nobody does. Everyone's like worried about pumping out all this content. It's like, why don't you just take a minute, get a pencil and a piece of paper and write something good, write something honest and heartfelt.
How about it?
Write something original. I know it's hard. I know why this happens too. It's a double-edged sword. It's a vicious cycle, because people are like, well, people want things they recognize. Do they? Or are we saturated with shit that we know will sell? So that's what we go see, because there's not any other options.
Give them something. Give them. The great Jerry Bruckheimer says people don't know what they want. I tell them what they want.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You give them the content, they'll consume it. I'm serious. I ain't seen one frame. They ain't even in production of that movie yet. I promise you it will not be better than the original. I promise you. It's that movie is I'm not being funny here. There's very few movies I call that. It is a cinematic masterpiece. Legitimately.
Yeah.
We're talking about the holy grail of cinema. We're not talking about, for with all due respect to Kenya Barris, you got some big old balls doing that movie, bro.
Yeah.
You got some big old balls. It took Michael Jackson to do the Wiz to make that thing viable. Michael Jackson at his apex.
And he didn't just pop up in films either. Dylan, I didn't watch SmackDown yet, so
yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on the wrestling podcast, bro. I ain't talking about no wrestling on this podcast. Too much wrestling, bro. Too much wrestling.
But dude, I will say, like,
tune in Tuesday, bro.
As much as I love Will Smith, and we talked about that last show, Will Smith did a great job as the genie, but there was no way he was going to be better than Robin Williams, because Robin Williams, that's also imprinted on my soul that is how the genie acts. That's what the genie looks like. That's how he sounds. So it's not.
Plus, he's not restricted by realness. You can make him do anything.
And Disney, for all the money they have, I'm like, your CGI is not that good. And it's probably because those guys are overworked and underpaid, but that's another topic for another day. So it's absurd, man. The remakes have to stop. Like, one thing I do love about Netflix, and they crank out a lot of original content, and a lot of it is
I'll give them that.
Yeah,
I'll give them that. Netflix original. Oh, we're starved for something new. Yeah, how Stranger Things work out? It worked out pretty well. Yeah, they used 80s nostalgia, but that thing stands on its own. Shout out to the Duffer Brothers. That's the reason why it's such a hit, because they had some balls, man. Some balls, man. I'm sorry. Stranger Things is about as good as it gets. Squid Game took the world by storm. At least it's something. Give me something, man.
Another thing I can do with that is, like, not everything has to have a twist ending now. That's another, like, trope that has just been overdone and overused, but it's become very predictable. But like with Squid Game, I enjoyed it, and at least it was something. It was something original. So they went for it. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but as far as to put a bow on it, man, like,
mark my words, unless Judy Garland is coming back from the dead, and I mean the icon that is Judy Garland. If she's coming back from the dead, you let me know, because then I'll be on board.
Who's playing the Wicked Witch?
Yeah, how about that? How about Toots? She's on fire. Oh my God, people understand. You think you can just make stuff. You got to understand something here. These are icons, man. You can't just make shit. Whatever, we're gonna do it anyway. Okay, well, I'll be here at the end of the line saying, waving at you, being like, I told you so. You can't just replace everybody, bro. That's another thing that people aren't ready to admit, Jay. You can't replace everything, Jay. You see what I'm trying to say? There's certain things that are so precious and so amazing that you have to enjoy them and move on and understand that you can't duplicate it. Dude, my favorite breakfast place in the world happens to be in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Jay, I have tried to replace it everywhere in the world I've been. Jay, swear to God, never get the bang for the buck or the food or the service, the prices, anything. I have never been able to replace it. So I had to have a serious conversation with myself and realize the only way I'm going to get the perfect fucking breakfast is the Hamilton. But people don't want to do that, Jay. They want to act like you can just do stuff. You can't. There will never be another Chadwick Boseman. I don't give a damn who they put in Black Panther's costume. There'll never be him. Ever. Never. Ever, 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 ever. Never be another Tony Stark. Never be another Hugh Jackman. You can find a replacement. There'll never be another Hugh Jackman the way he plays Logan, ever. Sorry. It is what it is.
And that's why you shouldn't even try for like 40 years if you're going to even do it.
It is what it is. It's not my fault he knocked it out the park. It ain't my fault. But I'm comfortable knowing that I can just watch old Hugh Jackman. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like we can recast. No, you can't.
Nah, that is Wolverine to a generation of people.
Oh my God, man. Y'all go ahead. Keep thinking you could just replace people. That's what I get. People are replaceable, Jay. There's not another you. I've never met another you before. Some people transcend. I'm not being funny here. Some people transcend. And I'm telling you right now, I'm sick and tired of everyone thinking they can just remake something because they got the money in the studio backing them. I'll be here letting you know it'll never be a classic, ever. Never.
I agree. Like, think about how other forms of entertainment, how asinine that would be. If they're like, hey, this year, like the Patriots had a really good season in 2019, so we're just going to redo that season. Tom Brady's black now, by the way.
Cool. Cool, man. Like I said, y'all go ahead. Listen, the thing about it is, the beauty part about it is I've already been proven right. They've done it. They've tried and failed all this stuff before. This ain't new.
and so conventional wisdom would tell you to maybe stop spending hundreds of millions of dollars doing it. But they're like, nah, we'll just do it.
I ain't seen one frame of this film. I was like, but he said 2 words. And I was like, nope. Your heart's already not in the film. Your heart's in how many brown boxes you can check.
Like, there's literally, like, I guarantee my soon-to-be 12-year-old Gabe knows what Wizard of Oz is, and like my 70-year-old mother knows what Wizard of Oz is. There's like not a damn person on this planet that doesn't at least know that story. We can get deep into the weeds on that, by the way. Like, there's so many allegories in that film really is perfect. Like, the Scarecrow represents the farmers, the Tin Man.
Bruh, like come on, Jay.
The industrial industry that has no heart and doesn't look out for the little guy and is killing the Scarecrow. Come on, man. There's so much there.
Jay, come on, man. And you know what we don't do the whole movie, Jay? You know what we don't do? We don't talk about race once.
Ever.
You see what I mean? All-time great film that just is a film. Damn, I get so tired of talking about race, man. We bring this up because ain't nobody gonna talk about it like we talk about it. You know what I mean?
And most people can't because they've never even had a best friend or someone they grew up with and willing to have honest conversations about it. I can look at it plenty of times and be like, oh, well, some of the stuff white people do is really fucked up and really stupid and ignorant. And a lot of it, guys, like I talked to my 12-year-old about this, who's Mexican American. And he even understands. He's like, I think
he's brown. He's like brown. He's like brown skin. You know what I mean?
And what did you tell him because of that? You're going to get treated differently. And he knows that. And he says, okay, so do I wallow in it? Do I make excuses? Or do I know that going in, know that some people are going to start on second base where I'm starting at home plate. And I try to do something about it. And I let him know, as a person that's older than him by 27 years, that just to let him know that what the game is. Yeah. So he's not walking into the game blind. So he knows what bat to bring. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. And, he's starting to speak Spanish and fully understand it now. He's going to be bilingual by the time he's 15. And I'm super proud of him. And he gets all A's and he's starting to get good at sports. And I love the kid. But, I say all that to say, like, he's very, very aware of all that. And he's like, he made a great comment that you and I have actually said. He's like, a lot of what people call racism today, he's like, I think it's ignorance. He's like, because people can say like, oh, that's ignorant. And you think that you're saying, by the way they're saying it's like, oh, you're an asshole. That literally means unaware of what you're saying and how dumb you sound. So like a lot of the Trump supporters, and I'm not making this political, whether you like them or not, a lot of the stuff that they say that inflames their fan base, it's not even necessarily racist. Some of it probably is, but a lot of it is straight up ignorance, because you don't realize how asinine what you're saying is. And that's still your fault. You got to be accountable for it. But like, people are very quick to use the R word when it's usually the
definition. The most fundamental definition of racism is thinking your race is superior than the other race is inferior. That's the pure definition of racism.
And the prejudice is a little bit different. I believe that's like hatred over a certain group of people because of something they have no control over or something like that.
And that's what more people are. More people are prejudiced than they're racist.
It's truly. So you got to understand all that. And then you got to, like, if you're not willing to talk about it and be honest about it, like, it'll never get better. And at the same time, you can overkill it too. You don't have to bring it up every single time, but we're going to take it from a vantage point where we can actually implement this into real life and talk about it. Every time I see tokenism in a movie, I'm like, Evan wouldn't like this. And I'm not speaking for you. It's from talking to you. I'm like, this is so forced. Evan's probably like, I know you're rolling your eyes at it. And you're like, I'm not seeing
Every time. That's not how you spark change. By throwing a bunch of black people at a bunch of white people. That's not how you spark change. That keeps them angry. That keeps them mad. That keeps them thinking that the only reason why they're in this movie is because of affirmative action. You know how I know this? Because I've heard all of those things before.
Yep, you're 100%
I'm not
right.
making it up. I'm not making it up. So what's your solution? Keep throwing black stuff at it. No. We need to have a dialogue. We need to have a talk. We need to just make great cinema. If we have great films with people of color that's about them, cool. If we have great American fiction, the great Jeffrey Wright, who the only reason why he's not winning the Oscar this year is because that damn Irishman pulled up and did a movie about nuclear bomb. Jeffrey Wright would be winning your Oscar for Best Actor. I can promise you, it's a movie. It's just a great film. You know who ain't talking about it? A bunch of black people. Why? Because it ain't all black up in your face. But you know what it is? Representation. But they don't care about that. You know why? Because the director and the writer wanted to make a great film. And that's my issue. Let's talk about that film. Sterling K. Brown, brother in there. Jeffrey Wright, brother in there. Surrounded by all kinds of different races coming together to make a great film that's nominated for Best Picture. Ain't nobody talking about it in the barbershop. Why? Ain't nobody. You know how I know? I just left the damn barbershop. They ain't talking about the movie. They talk about everything else but that movie, and that movie has representation. Don't tell me this is about representation. This is about being loud about dumb shit. That's what this is about. Listen, Lexi said in high school in Carlisle, people used to always say so ignorant, and half the time it didn't apply. Yo, I remember that like it was yesterday, girl. I remember that. I remember
that's that ignorant. I'm like, actually,
every single that's a Carlisle thing I've ever heard one. Yeah.
But that's where I got it from, Lex, because I'm from there too.
Listen, she know the spot. Yo.
Let me ask you this, Evan, because my favorite director right now is Jordan Peele, and I don't like everything that he does, but I appreciate originality.
Wait, original films, Jay? Wait a minute here.
Last time I checked, he's black as shit. So anyway, so let me ask you this about Jordan Peele, though, because we watch a lot of his movies together and talk about them. And the movie Us is riddled with holes, and there's plot holes and problems, but I love the idea and I love the originality. I'm good. And I think Jordan Peele's a genius, but I also know. Well, let me ask you: Do you think he goes a little race heavy sometimes? Or are you okay with with his like thematics and everything?
He has a lot of pressure on him. He's in that spot that I've always been in. You know why? Because he was taught, like I was taught, to love who you love, marry who you marry, date who you date. So immediately he loses credibility by not having a black wife. So that's the first strike against poor Jordan Peele. Second strike against Jordan Peele is he ain't always yo, MF this, N-word that. He's like, hello, I'm Jordan Peele. So immediately, what's that make him? Oh, now he's corny. Strike two against him in the black community. By the way, these are his black people not supporting him, by the way. These are his black people not supporting him, by the way. So
somebody supports him because his films are breaking it in, but you're right.
They support him after you blow up. But that dude was hotter than fish grease. He was hotter than fish grease before. And he was writing. He starts off with Keanu. People don't realize it's actually genius. It really actually is.
It is. I saw it the day it came out.
It's actually a genius film. And that's his film he starts with. Oh, ha, ha, he, he. That's like his Slim Shady LP. Then he hits you with his masterpiece, which is Get Out, which is one of the greatest movies ever made. Ever. And it's a movie that won best screenplay, not best adapted screenplay. Best screenplay. So he has these strikes against him for being not a brother's brother until he starts blowing up. Oh, now he's one of us. Okay. So now Jordan Peele sitting back being like, oh, damn, I got this black pressure on him. So now he's in the mode that I call the overcompensation mode, where he feels he has to prove that he's the black director for the black people with the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I hate it. And I know what he's going through. I'm telling you, I know what he's going through. He's still staying true to his craft, but it's tough. He likes who he likes. He loves Kaluuya. Kaluuya's he said it already. He said Kaluuya's his De Niro. So he literally has said that quote. So Kaluuya was always going to have a job. So, but that's just a side part of it. But it's tough, man. It's tough because he's in this spot now where he has to have this black pressure like a la John Singleton or Spike Lee, but he's neither one of them. He's better.
I agree. And it's funny too, because Keegan-Michael Key is married to a white woman as well.
Yes, he is.
And
so the same thing I just laid out applies to him as well, unfortunately.
And they're both brilliant. They're both educated. They're both articulate. They're both hilarious, but they can obviously play in different genres. When Jordan Peele dropped Get Out, I was like, did I read that trailer wrong? I was like, who directed this?
Masterpiece.
I was like, that's the comedy guy from Key and Peele, who I love. But I'm like, holy shit.
A flat out masterpiece.
I like all his movies. I like Nope a lot too, and that got kind of bashed. They made money though, but I mean,
it was because movies that get bashed because he has to be careful. His next movie has to be really good because he's already getting into Shyamalan range. Because people thought one thing and they gave you something else. It ain't my fault y'all thought something. I don't know what you thought. He didn't lie. There's so many cool undertones in the film. I'm just saying, guys, you expected something, he gave you something else. That's his Village, and I actually think the Village is brilliant.
I love the Village.
I think the Village is brilliant.
I like almost all M. Night's movies. Almost. I liked Knock at the Cabin. I thought was good.
Listen, I don't knock visionaries, bro. I don't knock people that got the stones to do something different.
By the way, I know you know this, but I'm just going to make sure you know it. You do know that Keanu Reeves does the voice of Keanu, the cat.
Absolutely.
How's Keanu Reeves not the GOAT? I don't care if it's one word.
But that's why he is the GOAT, because Marvel threw a truckload at him. He's been in He said no, but he's been in SpongeBob and Keanu. He does things that make him happy. That's what he does.
I got to Google it, but I heard a rumor that like he originally turned it down because of time, and his sister or cousin or someone was like, "You should watch the trailer. It's actually looks pretty funny." And he's like, "All right, I'll do it."
Yeah, but listen, before we wrap this up, Jay, let's do that one topic we were supposed to get to for like 8 weeks. I've been wanting to hear you trying to unpack this. Let's close out the show, rather on some cool shit.
Where's the rundown? Damn it, I had it in front of me.
It's okay, I'll buy some time. Y'all still up in here? Y'all still listening to us, man? What the hell going on? Where y'all at?
You know people.
We've been regaling. Have y'all been listening to us as we regale?
Are we talking about the marriage thing?
Yeah, I want to hear. I've been wanting you to get to it because I didn't know where you were going with it.
Yeah, man. So we also like to do relationship topics on this show, but we don't always get to it because the chat always derails it, which we want that. So it's totally cool. But
hell yeah.
In addition to race relations, we always try to talk a little bit about relationship issues. And I posed a question. We got a happily married man in here and someone who's attempted it once and damn near tried to do it again. I want to know is marriage as we know it, Evan Thomas Mack, and our lovely chat. Is marriage as we know it even realistic based on society's norms? Is marriage, the institution of marriage, is it realistic based on society's norms? When I see people, man, on social media, and that's not a good thing to base your life on or anyone's opinion. I literally am watching these TikTok videos of these young ladies and what they're looking for in a guy. And I literally hear this girl say like, "Oh, I couldn't even like date this guy anymore because he used his turn signal. And that was such feminine energy." I said, "What?" I said, I can't date, man. I can't date anybody ever again.
Let me flip it to you though. Let me try to switch it up a little bit. Same topic, but what's dating like, bro? It's different. You're at a different age. You're at a different stage. I'm not saying you're actively searching, but being out of a fresh relationship, what do you see the landscape as right now? Because you have a different set of eyes now. So now you get to see kind of a different thing. What do you see out there? Is it this? Has the younger girl changed? Has the older woman changed? What do you feel is different in this whole this dating world?
I think you have a lot of imperfect people running around trying to convince everyone else that they're perfect. And I think you have a lot of people that are very, very, very insecure, masquerading as overly confident. And I think a little bit of alcohol in your system inflames all those emotions at once. That's not to say that I'm better than anybody, but damn it, nobody's better than me either. And when people come out, I think one of the only times that men have it more difficult than a woman in life is when they are supposed to make the first move on a first date, or when it comes to sexy time, there's more pressure on a man to perform. Other than that, I know it's harder to be a woman in every aspect of life. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, there is way more pressure on a man to perform than a woman, with all due respect.
And we don't.
The man has to get the apparatus up and ready, brother. The apparatus got to be, you know what I'm saying, brother. Well, can't you go again? What you talking about? I had to pull up the first time. What in the hell? I just regaled you.
Seriously. But honestly, man, I will say this: like, it's a cesspool. It is. But it's a lot of people who don't know who they are yet. And I've made this mistake too. So until you fully know who you are and what you really want, and you have to actually own that and be okay with it, it's on some cliche shit. Like, be yourself, because the people that will come and go for the wrong reasons when you're not even being true to what you really want, those people are not for you. So I think and that's okay. And it's okay to be alone. And it's okay to like feel hurt. It's okay to like confide with a friend, be like, yeah, I was like, this did not work out for whatever reason. It's okay to be vulnerable. Now, I think at the same time, you never wallow in that self-pity. You say like, that was tough. Got to move on and move forward, because the world is not slowing down for me or anybody else. So I think you just got to keep moving forward, and you got to keep an open mind, and you don't want to be bitter, and you don't want to take it out on the next. What did Will Smith say? Like, like, don't take it out on the next, son. I was like, yeah, don't. But because it's not their fault, they weren't there. But at the same time, like, you're going to be dealing with a lot of people who are emotionally damaged, been hurt, been shit on, metaphorically. Good God, with everything that's going on, I'm talking metaphorically, everyone. But I think when you know what is for you and what you really want and who you really are, it's okay. I'm having good conversations, but
that's good.
That's all I have to offer right now. And I'm also gonna, for the first time ever, I'm gonna make somebody like really earn it.
You have to be. Listen, everything you say, I understand what you're saying. And the hardest thing you said out of all of that was, it's okay to be alone. That's the toughest thing for people, because, we're social creatures. And companionship and having someone that you laugh with and get your jokes and that you can share new things with and experience new things with, that is very special.
Yeah, it is.
So being alone after that, especially if you ever had a taste of that, that's very tough. Anybody that's in the chat, anybody that's still listening to me, listening to the sound of my voice, talk to me about that. How do you learn to be alone if you've been alone at periods and various points in your life? If you are single, how are you still staying alone? Staying alone. Dylan Matthew JMC, damn, sure gonna make someone pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Listen. It ain't just Reverend Archibald's. Wait a minute. I'm not Reverend Archibald. Sometimes
wait, hold on.
Oh shit.
A man of the cloth would never swear. So.
Oh my God! Speaking of the Oz has just been discovered, bro. The man behind the curtain, brother. Oh no! But no, being alone. Dylan, what about you, brother? Are you dating, bro? Are you alone right now? Do you know how do you navigate being alone? Lexi, baby, I don't even know your situation, babe. I don't even know if you're with somebody right now. But how do you navigate that? Because that thing that Jay said to me is the hardest part. Learning to be alone, being okay with being alone as you find yourself, a la Heidi Mack, brother.
we know, Heidi. We know what you do, what you did.
If she was in the chat, she'd be like, oh yeah.
That poor thing. She's like as pure as a woman could ever be, and she gets so much bullshit from us.
Damn, Dylan said he said I'm alone. I got scarred once. Damn, bro, for real.
But were you scarred, Jode, brother?
Yeah. Oh my God, yo! But go ahead, Jeff.
No, I actually prefer, like, if I'm not when you and Heidi are here, you and I will go out and do some things. But like other than that, like the people I've always, one thing I will give myself credit for, the women that I dated, I actually genuinely like to be around them. So I enjoyed their company. And I know you take Heidi everywhere with you, or maybe Heidi takes you everywhere with her, and like you like her friends and she likes your friends, and that's why you guys work so well, among other reasons. But you communicate well, you guys like the same things, even if it's not your cup of tea at first. You're like, I'm going to invest in this because somebody that's important to me likes it. And like, why would you not do that? So I've always been the type guy, people are like, guys night. I'm like, my girl's coming, dude, because I like her being there.
Yeah,
like, if she wants to. If she doesn't,
that I run into a lot. How they were like, because I bring Heidi everywhere. So like people think I do that because you're like, he's because he can't get out of the house with it. I go, no, I literally bring her.
Yeah, and
I bring because I like to be around her. And Heidi's one of the dudes, man. Guys get all weird. I go, you guys can still talk about how many random girls you bang in front of Heidi. I promise you can. Because you're overthinking it. She's not dating you. She's dating me. So she's not gonna be like, oh my God, you're those guys. She's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Even though when it's us, we don't even talk about that bullshit.
No. So I'm always like Lexi says she's lucky and blessed. That's good to hear. Seriously, that's what I'm talking about. Like you like being. I do believe, so to get to your original premise, dude, I truly believe this. Marriage is not for everyone.
Definitely.
I actually encourage people to not get married. What? Yeah. But Evan, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Because
you told me that before.
Hell yeah. Just because of the institution that it is. Literally. Mm-hmm. Especially in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They're very old-fashioned. They'll rake you through the coals. They will rake you through the coals if things don't work out because it's old school. It is one of the 13 colonies. They are very archaic in their laws about drinking and marriage. They will bury the dude that divorces a woman. Bury. That's one of the main reasons why I told you not to get married. But I mean, in general, bro, I told you, dude, it's the Clooney route, baby. Clooney didn't get married till he was 50.
There it is.
Be like Clooney.
And never a bad decision.
Oh, she said, I mean, you and Heidi are lucky. She goes, I'm unfortunate and stressed. I didn't know that, girl. Damn, Lex. I was all happy for you, girl. Girl, shut up. You buried the lead.
You know, Alexandra is the only woman that I've ever talked to casually or anything where we talk about me more than we talk about her ever.
Well, Lex, I told you, Lex is a different cat, though. She's a very different girl.
She's a selfless individual, man.
Yeah, she is, but she's a guy's chick, and I mean that in the best way. She doesn't get hung up on the girly stuff. I can assure you. That's just how she's been. She's cut from a different cloth. That's why she's one of my favorites. Dylan Matthews said, but this is why we do the podcast, bro. You ain't about being a downer. This is literally 50% of why we do the podcast. Dylan goes, don't want to be a downer, but mental abuse was at an all-time high. I was controlled, had to answer a text within 2 minutes, et cetera, et cetera. This is what this is about, bro. This is why we do the podcast, dude. To hear this kind of stuff from the chat and hear this stuff from our perspective. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like that you're so scarred. This girl's damaged you so much that you won't give it another whirl, brother. You can't let her win, daddy. You can't let her defeat. Dylan, you're one of the all-time greats we've never met. Is because you live in a different dimension. You pieces of shit got shipped off by the Brits all those hundreds of years ago. You didn't think to just move that giant piece of land closer to everything else? You can bring it over. You can use a bunch of ships and drag it. I'm thinking like a cartoon right now, but come on.
But Dylan, if you want to talk about any of that stuff, not in the chat room, man, you can always message us because I can go toe to toe with you on that, man.
Yeah, we could talk about. We could take it as far as you want to take it on the pod, but then anything else, bro, you got my digits, bro. If you want to, you can give us the Disney version here, and you can give us the, you know what I mean, the you know what I mean.
Is that
but dude, like I said, but
in Mexico, what's up, Giovanna?
Don't let this girl beat you. I can't. You depriving all them fine ass Australian women the swag goo that is Dylan Matthews. Oh, I can't have that. Don't make me fly to that different dimension. Don't make me fly to that abyss known as Australia.
Yeah, Dylan, I can promise you this. Like, I have some wild stories that you wouldn't even believe. But
Unreal.
I will tell you. But I will tell you that, and my last relationship was far from perfect. But the person that I've cared about and loved the most in my life came after someone who was verbally, physically, mentally, every kind of abusive. So please, you're doing the world a disservice by shutting yourself off. I'm not saying when you're ready, take your time.
When you're ready. But do that shit.
When you're ready, girl, say you're ready. When I'm on the back,
listen, the podcast is winding down. Oh, but I had something that Jordan ain't even ready for.
Uh-oh.
This is what you do. You set up your friends. You set... I do these things for several reasons. To let you guys know that me and Jordan just make a little rundown. We never know what we're going to talk about besides the rundown, and we just kind of go. That's why I think we're the best at. That's why I think we're the best at this. But every now and again, Evan will throw a little monkey wrench. Jordan's probably getting a little nervous right now. I'm gonna put a ticker at the bottom of the screen, and I'm gonna ask the question, then I'm gonna unleash him. Does Jordan Michael Colson owe Justin Timberlake an apology? Because Jordan Michael Colson was going on a monologue, a rant, a soliloquy. He was dogging him. He was talking shit about his number one guy. He said, yo, he ain't shit. I'm tired of him. Justin Timberlake ain't that dude. He ain't Hemi Neutron. And then what did my boy Justin Timberlake do? He dropped a crisp new banger. And I told him, produced by Timbo. And the whole album is not out yet, but you can get a taste. And Jay already got a taste of that track. And I can already feel the backtracking when I heard about it. So does Jordan Michael Colson owe Justin Timberlake an apology? What say you?
Hell yes, I owe Justin Timberlake an apology. Because first of all, he came out on Saturday Night Live as he does. Did his thing. He's coming to Hershey, Pennsylvania on his tour. Come on now. And then he dropped what he dropped. He dropped Selfish.
Yes, he did.
That's the Justin Timberlake that I know and love, and the one that I can't help it.
Yeah. I said, yo, he's back. He's back in his bag, you sons of bitches.
He knew he let me down though. He knew he did.
It's weird. It's kind of weird because he said he's selfish. Listen, Lex, but he dropped a song called "Selfish," and Britney's fans streamed her song "Selfish" from years ago, so that it was a higher than Justin Selfish on the charts. I go, so lame. Britney. On a serious note, Britney fans better stop enabling her. That there's something seriously wrong with Britney Spears. I don't know why Britney fans think this stuff is cute. And I can't believe this is how you know fans. That's why it is short for fanatic. They are really very delusional. Britney Spears needs help for real.
Britney Spears is the only person has never had head trauma and like has CTE for real.
Like she Guys, she needs serious help. Everyone always thinks you can just get a conservatorship over somebody's money. No, they have to grant you conservatorship. This is not the 1920s when a woman was on her menstrual cycle and they put her in a psych ward and took all their stuff away from her. Yeah. This is the 2000s where you can't just take somebody's stuff. They handed it to the dad. I'm just saying they might have did it for a reason. Kevin Federline got custody of the kids. When does that happen?
He's like white trash, honestly.
Oh, okay, guys. We it's all been in front of your faces the whole time, but you guys keep apologizing because she got 5 songs. That's fine.
And I don't even hate Britney like that, but like follow her on Instagram if you dare. You'll be like, yeah, there's something going on here.
Yeah, Lex says she hasn't treated her. She can't be sure, but she's convinced that she has severe bipolar disorder, unmedicated. She goes, I'm not sure because she's a professional, so she's not going to diagnose her. But I hear what you're saying. You went that step further. I said there's something seriously wrong with it, and I can tell. This is ridiculous.
It's absurd. I know a person that worked with her on she came out with a Twister series. It was Britney Spears branded with games. And this woman named Marina, I've done commercials with her before. She produced the whole spot and directed it. She said Britney was super kind, super nice. She said Britney would call and she would be like, okay, here's the creative for the commercial. What do you think? And Britney would approve it. And Britney would call back like 4 hours later and be like, so did we go over the creative? She's like, I think it'd be great to do it outside. And Marina was like, Britney, we not only went over that today, we can't shoot in New York City outside. There's permits, there's weather. And she was like, okay. She'd call back like the next day and be like, when do you think you could have the creative ready for that commercial? And Marina wouldn't lie. She's been in the business like 80 years.
She gains nothing. She didn't do a tell-all. She didn't sell a book.
She just told me, probably hoping I'd never tell anybody. That's not even like an indictment. She's just, and she goes, you know what? She goes, Britney is so nice. And she's like, she comes across like exhausted. That's what it seems like she is all the time.
Fatigue and stress, that messes with your mental, man.
And I'm not saying what Justin did. I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm also not going to condemn a 17-year-old kid for something he did a long
Absolutely not. I mean, not Justin, happening.
He's pretty squeaky clean for the most part. That is not to say what he did was okay in any way, shape, or form. He also kind of hung Janet out to dry at the halftime show.
Yes, he did.
I think Janet came out and said it really wasn't his fault or anything, but he didn't get any of the backlash for it. In fact, he went on to his fame was never higher after that. But
double standard, brother. Can't nobody love you like I love you.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
JT.
But I will say, like, as someone who genuinely has grown up watching this kid, and he's older than me, but a kid, like, it's not sad. It's like endearing because I've watched him since he was 16 or 17. Always a fan, even when it wasn't cool to like him. But you can see
before it was fashionable for a dude to like a boy band. We all know. You know what era we came from. Me and George, we're gay because we like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. We got it, guys.
We'll be at the Y playing basketball, like with everyone, like everyone else is like rapping. We're like singing songs like we do here. We're like, okay, I like rap too, guys. It's okay.
Yep, and they're like, oh god, you guys are go. I was like, yeah, guys, yes, you figured us out. We love boy bands, therefore, but everyone's secretly loving these boy bands.
Yeah, like somebody's buying these records, but it's interesting and it's like it's kind of cool in a way. Like you can see the age in Justin's face for like the first time ever. Like you can see he's like in his mid-40s, and you're just like, oh man, he's like not a kid. That doesn't look like a baby now for the first time ever. Yeah, it's wild. That's my guy though. That is still my guy. Like I just
Lex Luthor. Your apology is accepted by me. I don't know if JT is gonna accept your apology, but I accept it.
What if we pull up to Hershey and he's like, "Where's Jordan at?"
Yo,
and then he's like,
Scarlett Johansson's like, "You son of a bitch."
He brings her out on stage and makes out with her pressure slides.
Yo, he's like, "Yeah, this is for that son of a bitch, JMC, the bag fumbler." I'm like, "Yeah." I would literally just swan dive off of something very high.
That would be the great. They're talking shit. They're talking shit about you, but it's the greatest moment of my life.
I go, Jay. I don't know how to feel about this. He's talking about my boy, but demonstrative. And then I don't know what song you would play after he did that. After he did that, made out with ScarJo, mic drop. What song would he play? after, because you have to play a song after all that. What would be this track to you?
Gone, maybe.
Oh,
that's an NSYNC song, but still.
But he made an exception, brother.
And he brings him out, and he's like, "You said I didn't even appreciate my guys." He's like, "But I do."
Oh no, Lexi with the dub. She got it. She goes, "What goes around, comes around, goes around." That's the track. Timbo.
Yeah, see, that's why. Like, as much as I love Pharrell, and he has some hits with the Neptunes, Timberland and him should just do every song together. Come on.
Yo, man, Lexi with the real facts. ScarJo's in that music video. She is.
Oh my God. Wow. Is she?
In full circle mode.
Wow. Isn't that song supposed to be allegedly about Elijah Cuthbert?
Oh, yeah.
Because Justin's friend, like, dated her and she cheated on her.
Damn, that's such a banger. Damn, that's a banger. Timberland killing it.
What goes around, comes around, goes around.
Goes back around. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I never fully abandoned Justin. The thing he did the most, and I know that Brittany thinks bad, but like, he's an adult.
Can you tell me
now.
exactly what that is? What don't I know? What's going on right now?
Apparently, he made her have an abortion whenever they were together when they were like 17.
Jesus,
I don't know how you make somebody do anything like that. I really don't. But there's more in the book, but like, and apparently, yeah.
I didn't know because it's tough for me to take what she said because I think she needs serious help.
Guys, and by the way, I'm not saying whether you believe in abortion or not is your right. I'm not condemning it one way or the other. It's I mean, whatever. But like in that era, there was a different time and place. There was a girl that I don't know if I should say it. I'll say it. I don't care. I'm not going to say the person's name. A girl that I barely knew asked me to borrow money so she can get an abortion. I gave her the money.
I know you're talking about.
She was a baby, and she was like, no,
she changed the course of her entire life. I can assure you, because I know exactly what she does right now, and I know exactly how great her life is right now.
And I don't regret it. And I'm not necessarily for. I don't think anybody who is against or for abortion can make that decision until it's looking them in the face. And it's like everything else we talk about. You don't really care about shit until it happens to you or someone you care about.
100%. I'll never believe it. I'll never believe otherwise. How long? Because I'm weirdly empathetic. I'm overly empathetic, but it doesn't mean it'll last a couple days. Every now and again, there was like this ridiculous freaking plane that crashed, and like a China Eastern airline plane crashed, and it was like an hour flight from 2 points of Asia or whatever. It was only supposed to be an hour, and in the first 15 minutes, it just nosedived and killed everyone. Right, and I always want to know why a plane crashed, because to me that's the last thing a plane should ever do. I don't care what anybody says.
You're right.
But when and China's very slick about what they do, but this person knows that on purpose.
What?
Yeah, like that stuff. So think about, if I show you how long ago this was, I think about it like almost every probably month. It just pops in my head because they were supposed to go on like a 45-minute flight. And it's got like nosedived it. The plane went, because they were like, we don't have any reason why. And I go, and then it was like someone finally had some guts and was like, this dude nosedived that thing. And I think about that kind of stuff. So I'm weirdly empathetic, but for the most part, bro, you right, man. Until it affects you or someone you care about, you do not care. You care if people think you're supposed to care, and you're performing. You're performing. Dylan said, I just did the wizard getting revealed with Evan and the Reverend's face on. No, you did not. Prove it. Send me that shit on WhatsApp. Prove it. Lex said, did I read her book? Yes, I did. Oh, look at you taking some time to read. It's Brittany, bitch.
So before we ride off into the sunset, do you think Alex, I respect your opinion more than a lot of people. So do you think like Justin deserved to be condemned for that? Keep in mind, what are they, 17 at the time? Maybe older. I don't know.
Oh, so now we put it on the Twitter. Hold on. Let's see what Lexi says. Oh, what do y'all want to talk about next week, man?
So what do you guys want to talk about?
Tell me what y'all want to talk about.
If you don't give us anything, we'll come up with something, but We always like to put it back to you guys. No, you don't.
This
Yeah,
is the
come on now.
This is the funniest shit he's ever done, by the way. Yo, send me
I don't
that
know
video. This is
that
the fun.
bag-
No, this is the best thing he's ever done, ever, dude.
That's saying a lot too.
Because it's usually a gift. This is a video. It's a video. It's me as the Wizard of Oz, brother. Excuse me, Reverend, not me. What the hell are we talking about right now? He's talking about the reveal. He's saying it. Yeah. This is the greatest video ever made. He got me like as the Reverend, and then like when they pull the curtain, it's like me. No one will appreciate that but me, though. She said, no, I don't. Lex said, no, I don't.
There you go.
Yo, what y'all want to talk about next week? Tell me what y'all want to talk about. Yo, Dylan, Lex, Bixler. What up, baby boy? What y'all want to talk about? We got Super Bowl coming up.
Oh yeah. Keep in mind, the whole point of the show is to be a little pop culture, some relationship stuff. We're getting into racial issues now. I love it.
It's your turn next week, Daddy.
It is. I'm gonna hit you with something wild too.
Ooh, spicy. So yeah, yeah, guys, that's it, man.
You guys are the best.
Y'all are the best. Like I said, this is literally, hanging out with Jay is the part of it, but you guys are the other part that brings it all together, brother.
The one thing
come on, man, 5 stars. Y'all gotta get the 5 stars though. Y'all gotta do the 5 stars.
We never ask people to do that. We should
please
really do it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, 5-star the pod, y'all, so we can get this thing up. 5-star review the pod. Give us some love.
We should have like bring your friend to the Mies Day.
Oh yeah, bring your peoples. Let's all chit chat it up on the Mies podcast. We got through. We ain't solving the world's problem. We just trying to make it a little less crazy every week. Love y'all. Hugs and kisses. You see what Lex said before we roll? We can edit this part at the back end. We can edit this part at the back end, but you see what Lex said right there?